Commas could be described as a mid-sentence soft pause. They indicate separation in a sentence, separation of words, of phrases, or of clauses. Despite their grammatical function, people often approach commas in one of three ways. The first, if in doubt, add one. Second, use them sparingly. And third, when reading something aloud, if you need to take a breath, add a comma. Although the third one results in some success, it is not an accurate guide. The best approach is to learn the rules regarding correct comma placement. As commas are the most used, and perhaps misused, mid-sentence punctuation mark, there will be multiple guides in this interactive series on comma usage. This guide will look specifically at the use of commas in series. You can now choose to begin with the quiz or learn about the placement of commas in a series by clicking one of the buttons at the bottom of the page. A series is a list of 3 or more items. The items can be made up of words, different types of phrases, or clauses. The rule here is to use commas to separate each item in a series. With the example sentence, you can see that there are 3 noun items, poached eggs, toast, and coffee, and commas between each item. Although the principle seems straightforward, the Oxford comma and lists with 2 items can cause some confusion, and the former even causes some controversy. Select a button to learn more about either the Oxford comma or lists with 2 items, or to return to the menu page where you can navigate to the full quiz on commas in a series. The Oxford comma is placed before the final coordinating conjunction and separates the final item in a series. In our example sentence, the Oxford comma is placed between the noun item toast and the coordinating conjunction and. Sometimes one or more items in a series may contain an and, such as the noun phrase in the new example. If this is the case, be careful to accurately mark out the items with commas. Here we have one item, fish and chips, a second item, mushy peas, and a third item, tartar sauce. All clearly identified with correct comma placement. The Oxford comma is required in many writing style guides, but not in others. This means that you will see it omitted in some types of publications, for example, newspapers and magazines. Often the meaning is clear whether an Oxford comma is used or not. For example, the first sentence here contains 3 items, eating, family and football, and 2 commas, including the Oxford comma. The second example contains the same 3 items but only 1 comma, leaving out the Oxford comma. The meaning of both sentences is clear for the reader. The sentence contains a series of 3 items that I enjoy. Sometimes, however, the omission of the Oxford comma can lead to ambiguity. If you would like to learn more about the Oxford comma, click Continue. If you feel confident in your understanding of the Oxford comma, you may click to take a short comprehension quiz. Move on to lists with 2 items, or return to the main menu where you can navigate to the full quiz on commas in a series. Due to the omission of the Oxford comma, our new example sentence lacks clarity, as it could be interpreted in 2 distinct ways. I could read it as a list of 3 items, meaning that I invited all my friends and Daniel and Michael, who are not my friends. Or I could read Daniel and Michael as an appositive phrase rather than 2 extra items in a series. This means that I invited all my friends who are Daniel and Michael, so I only have 2 friends. The inclusion of the Oxford comma in the sentence clearly marks the sentence as a series containing 3 items: my friends and my 2 non-friend invitees. The most important thing in your writing is clarity. Your reader must understand your message, and consistency is a major element of clarity. So if you choose to omit the Oxford comma, you must always omit the Oxford comma. To maintain clarity without using the Oxford comma, you could reorganize the items in your series. Placing the names as the first two items in our example sentence accomplishes this. Although the Oxford comma is generally an aid to clarity, this is not always the case, but again, if you choose to use the Oxford comma, you must always use it. This new sentence clearly identifies three items in a series without using the Oxford comma. Maria clearly played with three different entities. However, a problem arises if we add that final comma. Now we can interpret the sentence in a new way. His dog could be in a positive, and therefore describing who Sammy is, and so Maria only played with her dog and her sister. Again, through reorganizing the sentence, we can avoid ambiguity and still use the Oxford comma. This technique of reordering items within a series to improve clarity is especially important for high school students, as tests such as the SAT require the use of the Oxford comma. A quick review before we complete this section. 1. If you follow a particular style guide, check to see if you are required to use the Oxford comma. 2. If you are a high school student and/or are completing activities with Mono English School, use the Oxford comma. 3. If you adhere to no particular style guide, make a choice and be consistent. Remember that the most important element in your writing is to convey a clear meaning to your reader. Before choosing your next destination, please remember that all exercises and quizzes with Mono English School require the use of the Oxford comma. Now, you may choose to take a short comprehension quiz on the Oxford comma, learn about lists with two items, or return to the main menu where you can navigate to the full quiz on commas in a series. As defined in the introduction, a series contains a minimum of 3 items. Therefore, a list of 2 items does not constitute a series. As such, the 2 items in our example sentence do not need to be separated by a comma. This is a grammatical sentence containing a list of 2 items. A common error of comma usage is to add a comma between 2 items in a list, which often leads to a reader's confusion. If you would like to learn more about lists with 2 items, click Continue. If you feel confident in your understanding of lists with 2 items, you may click to take a short comprehension quiz. Move on to the Oxford comma, or return to the main menu where you can navigate to the full quiz on commas in a series. This example sentence shows how lists of 2 items can cause confusion for the reader. This sentence is supposed to contain a list of 2 noun items, geese and ducks. However, the inclusion of the comma before the coordinating conjunction and alters the meaning of the sentence. With the comma, ducks could be interpreted as a verb of the subject dog in a compound predicate. Therefore, it seems as though my dog enjoys playing a hide-and-seek type game with the geese. She barks, and when the geese look, she ducks down to hide. Omitting the comma clearly shows that both words are nouns, and the sentence refers to the animals that live in and around the park's lake. The confusion here was created by 2 distinct meanings and parts of speech of ducks. Another cause of this kind of error is with longer gerund or infinitive phrases. This sentence contains 1 subject, Natasha, and 1 verb, enjoys. It seems that due to the length of the gerund phrases, some writers believe that a pause is necessary and apply a comma before the and. This list of 2 items contains a compound object. Both the reading and watching phrases relate to the verb enjoys, and we should not place commas between the phrases of compound objects. As with all guidelines, there are exceptions. In this case, we can break the convention if it reduces ambiguity, helping the reader to understand the message. If this was a series of 3 separate noun items, then this sentence could be interpreted as a stylistic choice to add a tone of excitement, like a child excitedly telling his parents about the impressive quantity of food that he had eaten. However, fish and chips is 1 dish, therefore it constitutes 1 item in a series. For purposes of clarity, it is advisable to add a comma between chips and. Now, the reader can clearly identify the 2 items. A quick review before we complete this section. If possible, do not separate a list of only 2 items with commas, as this can lead to confusion. Check that you have not incorrectly placed a comma to create compound predicates. And be careful not to confuse longer gerund and infinitive phrases as something other than singular items in a list. Include a comma only if its inclusion reduces ambiguity. Now you may choose to take a short comprehension quiz on lists with 2 items, learn about the Oxford comma, or return to the main menu where you can navigate to the full quiz on